Hello, Magnus Sights. I come to you cloaked, sitting on my throne of thought, ready to answer your question, holding the dark Mjolnir as our Magnus Sight movement marches forward to 1 million subscribers. Now, this question comes from Jonathan Denson, and he says to me, "Hey Tyrone, you don't have to make a video out of this, but I was just wondering, how are you in such great shape? I want to be in great shape like that. Any tips? What are your workouts like? What are your meals like? Thanks, brother. JD." Quick and to the point. I like that. Well, brother, to be in great shape, a certain thing the Ultimate Warrior said comes to mind. Rest in peace, brother. I remember listening to an interview with him, and he was talking about how, you know, he would get ready for a show, and if he was ready to come back to the WWE or WCW, whatever it was, you know, he would say, you know that I have the self-discipline to do what I need to do this and do that, you know. He knew that he had the self-discipline. Self-discipline is primary, pinnacle. It is the middle, all right? It is the very foundation of achieving anything that you want to do. So being in shape, yes, it's going to definitely apply to that. But every other goal you have in your life, self-discipline is going to apply to. Now, you want to know how I got into such great shape? I started working out because I wanted to run track when I transferred colleges, okay? Now that didn't end up happening because I didn't end up transferring colleges. I dropped out because I didn't like what I was doing and I didn't know what else to do. Also, my mother was sick, so I dropped out to take care of her. Now, when I started working out, I started to have a love for it. You ever started to do something you didn't really, want to do, but you knew it was something you needed to do in order to achieve something, and you're like, I actually kind of like this, you know? And that's what it grew into a love. It grew into, a hobby of mine, something that I loved the way it made me feel. Yes, it hurt in the beginning. Yes, it was hard, but I had the self-discipline, the discipline of a warrior, to continue to do what I wanted to do. And that's what you're gonna have. Now, when I have my workouts, when I first started out, I did 3 sets of everything. No matter what, that's all it was. 3 sets of 10 for everything that I did. If I did an arm workout, I went in and I did 3 sets of barbell curls, 3 sets of 10. Then I would do 3 sets of close grip bench press for my triceps, all right? Then I would do maybe some tricep pull downs, 3 sets of 10. Maybe I would do 3 sets of 10 of hammer curls, okay? When I started to really develop, I started to work my forearms in there, 3 sets of 10 for my forearm curls, you know what I mean? Underhand and overhand, and that would be a workout for my arms, and I would leave. For years, I was a 3 sets of 10 type of guy. After that, and I decided I wanted a lot more development, I started spending more time in the gym, and I noticed that my development really did increase when I upped my volume big time. Like, I experimented with German volume training, 10 sets of 10. That really worked well. But the thing that really worked crazy for me, and y'all might think I'm crazy for working out like this, y'all might think it was too much, but I noticed with enough time in between, a massive workout like this would create extraordinary results for me. I started doing 5 sets, and in the 5 sets, I started incorporating 3 sets to 10, and then 2 sets to 20. And I would do them with the moderate to heavyweight with the 3 sets of 10, and then for The 2 sets of 20, I would lower the weight. And I got extraordinary results from that. I really love that. But I noticed that I started to overtrain when I would train like that because I would do a massive amount of volume. I'll give you an example. If you just want to talk about chest, I would go in, I would do flat bench press like that, 3 sets of 10, then 2 sets of 20. Incline bench press, 3 sets of 10, 2 sets of 20. Decline bench press, 3 sets of 10, 2 sets of 20. Then I would do cable flies, okay? I would do them sitting, standing, and then with your seat lowered to hit the upper, middle, and lower pec. Same thing, 3 sets of 10, 2 sets of 20 for all 3 of those. Then I would finish off with 100 push-ups, okay? Now, to be able to do all that, a set of 100 push-ups, yeah. So in order to do all that, you've got to have a lot of stamina and, a lot of wind and strength to go through a workout like that. That's what I was doing. But that's advanced. That's for somebody that's been working out for years. If you're going to start out, I was in spectacular shape just doing 3 sets of 10. It was only when I wanted to up the ante, okay? Now, my meals. I realized that the older I got, that eating those 6-7 meals a day, 2 hours in between, 2 to 3 hours in between, was bullshitto. Didn't need to do that. I noticed I was only eating once or twice a day, and I was able to still achieve a great body at around 16% body fat, which is great for actually a guy my age. Well, it was good. My abs still showed and still had some cuts at 16%, which is interesting, I would assume it probably was because my metabolism slowed a little, and I wasn't always eating clean. Okay, when you do eat less meals, your metabolism slows. When you eat more frequent meals, your metabolism speeds up, so it's easier to get cut that way. But I don't really want to speed my metabolism up too much because of my personal beliefs after studying health. I believe that speeding up your metabolism really destroys the body fast. I think it ages you faster. I absolutely believe that. And I can do other videos about my beliefs on certain things later. But, so, I personally believe with fasting and eating a very light meal of fruits and vegetables, you can get just as cut. And I'm going to prove that very soon. I really have a feeling that the 80-10-10 diet is the key for me. I was feeling spectacular when I was on it, but because of certain addictions and urges to food, I went back to my normal ways of eating. But I plan on going back very soon, and I'll probably do a video on that so you can see my transformation. So, get the book, The 80-10-10 Diet, and when you do work out, you really don't have to work out that much. Just make sure your intensity is up. You want to make sure that the body knows that it's being exerted, because your body will not change if it does not have the stress on it to change. Okay? So make sure you're working out very intense. Keep your workout an hour at the most. An hour at the most. Okay? Some guys do believe in staying in the gym, maybe an hour and a half, 2. And I've seen guys with great results like that, but I think it puts too much stress on the body to stay in that long and creates an environment for overtraining too fast, okay, really fast. So, thanks for the question, man. So my tips, okay, 3 times a week at the least, 5 days a week, maybe at the most, working out, 3 sets of 10 for everything. And it's really at the basics, all you gotta do is meat builders. One movement will actually sculpt the body part that you need. So literally, if you want to do chest, all you literally have to do, unless you're advanced and you're working on little different things, bench press is all you need. Squat is all you really need for your legs. squats, calf raises, and deadlifts for your hamstrings. All right, squats, deadlifts, and calf raises. You don't need the leg extensions and the leg curls and all these other fine-tuning movements. Shoulder press for your shoulders. That's it. You know what I mean? Upright row for your back, or T-bar row for your back. That's really all you need. Okay? So, and if you don't believe, look at power lifters, because they train with those main movements and they look incredible, especially if they're cut. They look incredible. You almost can't tell them from bodybuilders, you know. But the trained eye can tell the difference. So, thank you for the question, my minion. And in my cloaked version, I say, oh, million subscribers. Woo!